Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is the card that I've been making today. I've been playing with no-line watercolouring. So stay with me and we'll see how I got on. I've got my ink stamped in Sahara sand onto my watercolour paper and I'm going to go wet into wet. I've scribbled Night of Navy onto my ink block there and I'm just filling in the back of the gentleman's sweater. Now I could have used an ink block, it's the exact same ink. I'm just going to dry that off. And then next I've got some petal pink, and I'm just going to colour in the flesh tones. Wiping off my brush because I think it's still got a little bit of the Night of Navy on there. But we'll sort that out later, it's not a problem. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the hair. So that's Sahara sand that I've got there. I've done a bit more of it and giving them the cool undertones that I want coming through. So this is Crumb Cake, and now I've got Rich Raspberry, and again I'm going to go wet into wet. So I've just painted over the lady's top just with the water in my water brush, and now I've gone in with the Rich Raspberry and I'm drying it. And that means I can go back with the same colour and just deepen it a bit, just bring that colour up a bit. Okay, so this is Crushed Curry, and as you notice I'm wiping off my brush onto a piece of kitchen towel as I go along. So this is Soft Suede going on top, and we'll give the gentleman some Soft Suede as well. He's looking a bit grey there. And Early Espresso to really bring in the shadows. Okay, so I want to warm the lady's hair up a bit. I wanted to give her a warm brown. And again, drying that off with the heat gun. Clean off my block as I go. And a bit more of the petal pink. Okay, so this is Balmy Blue, and I'm going to go again wet into wet. And as you can see, it's just a very, very light coat of blue, and I'm drying that off. So now I'm going to go back with the pens direct to the paper, and by doing this, this will give me a crisper line, but I can still blend them out with my water brush, my aqua painter, I should call it, and just work on it. And if I dab with my tissue on an area where it's wet, I can take some of the colour away. So there you go. To give a bit more depth to the colour, I'm just going over my dry watercolouring with my watercolour pencils. So I'm just adding a little bit of texture here and there. So this is Smoky Slate, just to add a bit of shadow. And I think that's Night of Navy that I'm using there. It might be Balmy Blue, I think, which is one of the pencils that's in the new and upcoming set. So as you can see, I'm using the edge of the lead pencil. I'm holding it flat and just a little bit of Blushing Bride and Cajun Craze. Now I'm bringing in a blender pen and I'm just blending out those colours that I've just applied, just to soften them a little bit. And I want to stamp a sentiment onto a strip of vellum. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide, and I'm just taking a little bit of time and making sure that those words are lined up nice and straight. and I'm happy with that, so I'm going to pick those up. I'm going to be heat embossing my sentiments, so I'm giving the vellum a jolly good coat of embossing putty. I don't want any stray specks. And I've inked up the stamp with Versamark and giving that a jolly good press into place. So now I have my embossing powder. This is a mix of gold and silver I created by accident, but it's jolly useful. And now I'm just heating it up with my heat gun on high. And there we go. I've used the largest of the smooth layering ovals templates to cut out my my image, and I'm just running the edge of it in my Versamark pad, and now I'm just tapping it in to the embossing powder. And this is going to give me just a hint of embossed gold around the edge of the piece. Now, as you can see, I'm using my heat gun, and I'm heating up that powder so that it gets nice and shiny. And it's time to start putting it all together now. So I have my liquid adhesive, which I'm just running onto the back of the panel from the Delightfully Detailed laser cut paper. I'm going to be sticking it to the background, which is from the Twinkle Twinkle DSP, and the background is 3 3/4 by 5.5. So I'm just taking a couple of seconds to line that up, and once that's dry, here's my vellum piece with the Mr. and Mrs. stamped and embossed on it, and I'm just kind of playing around with the placement of all the elements, just trying to decide where I want it, and I think that's about it. So I'm just folding that vellum band over the front of the card, I'm just squishing that down, and once I'm happy, just one more double check with for the placement. I'm just going to fetch my liquid adhesive, put a couple of spots onto the vellum, and just fold that over. Give it a squish so that it's nice and stuck. And liquid adhesive onto the back of the stamped image. Now I did think about using dimensionals, but in the end I thought I would keep the card nice and flat. And there is the finished card. Usually when I make a project, I don't actually have anybody specific in mind for the card or the box or whatever it is I've been making, but in this particular case, this is for a colleague who is getting married at the end of April, and he's my work husband actually. So Ian and Tina, I hope very much that you like this card. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope the rest of your life together is fantastic. And that's all from me today, so for now, bye bye.